Warning: the following video contains footage and music from different sources. I do not own any of it. All rights go to their respective owners. I am also not planning on getting monetized in this video whatsoever. With that said, please enjoy the rest of the video.
Come on, come on. Yes! Yes, I did it! Yeah! First place, baby! Woo! Let's talk about kart racers. How's it going, everyone? My name is Jason and welcome to a project that I've been waiting since last year, but I've never really got to until this moment. So, first off, y'all saw the video and y'all saw what the thumbnail is. But before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about myself, cause on the subject. So, me, I've started playing video games around 2008, 2009. And I've played a lot of video game genres. I've played action games, I've played adventure games, I've played platformers, I've played party games, RPGs. The ones that I have like the least amount of knowledge on are survival horrors because, well, I'm kind of a scaredy cat and a coward when it comes to that stuff, so I just get really creeped out over that. So as you can see, I know a lot about some video game genres. However, one of my personal favorite video game genres of all time, along with sports games, are racing games. The thrill of going on the track, trying to get first place while trying to beat all your rivals. I just live for that. And one of the very games that got me into the franchise is a game that my aunt gave me for the Wii when I was a kid. And it was one of my very first racing games, Mario Kart Wii. This game was one of the very first, not only the very first Mario Kart game, but I guess one of the few racing games I played. I mean, there's also Cars for the DS, if y'all remember my face reveal. But yes, but what really started my love for racing games, especially kart racers, is Mario Kart Wii. And I've played a lot of Mario Kart games. I played Wii, I played 7, I have Double Dash, which I didn't show out, and I have 8 Deluxe. All of these games that I love and adore to play. So much so that I've continued playing other types of kart racing games. And another one of my favorite racing games that tries to compete a little bit with Mario Kart is Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Just the whole uniqueness of the racing genre. Getting items, screwing over your friends, family, your rivals, all of that just makes these games so really cool. And I still think Diddy Kong Racing has to be the most underrated racing games of all time. Seriously, Nintendo, why is that not on N64 yet? I have no idea. But anyways, and as you expect from this video, 2025 gave us some pretty big hitters for racing games. games. So now there are these types of, there was like a racing game like Fast Fusion, I think it was, which also came out that year. But I never played it, and I'm not really gonna dive into that. What I am gonna dive into are what I call the Big Four for kart racing games of 2025. All of these are accessible on Switch and Switch 2. So if you have those, feel free to check these out. And I'm going to be talking about these games today. And that leaves one big question. Mario Kart World, Garfield Kart 2, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, or Kirby Air Riders. Which of these four is the de facto kart racer of 2025? So that's what we're gonna find out today in this video. So how am I gonna judge these? Well, basically, I have a little bit of a criteria. We're gonna be taking a look at some of the single player modes, the multiplayer modes, how the game feels gameplay wise, and the customizations, and anything that I'm thinking of. I'll talk about its good traits, its negative traits, and the traits that I'm kind of indifferent to. And a few things to get off my chest. One, this isn't a scripted video. Most of the time, you're gonna see me stutter or go off script. I mean, I do have notes right in front of me right here, but they're just notes. They don't show the whole thing. So what you hear are gonna be like the most important points, but what I say is just gonna come from whatever I say. So yeah, that's one thing. Number two, I'm gonna be trying to make a timestamp for these games. So if you want to hear what I have to say about each of these games, I will be putting a timestamp in the description like I've done with my other videos. And yeah. However, I do encourage you guys, even if, for example, you want me to just talk about Crossworlds and just want to skip by these two games, I kind of recommend you guys at least take a look at all of these. Or if you just want to skip to Kirby Air Riders, hear what I talk about. But I still kind of want y'all to like take a look at these, because I have some things that will help sway my opinion near the end. Anything else? Well, okay, there is obviously this. Whatever I say in this video... Oh wait, there's actually another thing. While this may be unscripted, I'm gonna try to include footages that I've taken from the game. And if I'm talking about marketing, I'm gonna try to see if I can put commercial ads on there. Cause I do have a lot to say about these games' marketing. And lastly, and this goes without saying, all of what I say about these games are my opinions and my own judgments. If you have different opinions and or judgments, then that is completely fine. If you agree with what I say, that's great. If you disagree with what I say, hey, great, good power to you. If you want, let me know what you guys think, what you guys agree with, what you disagree with, where would you put these, and yeah. By the way, comment. I like for you guys to watch the whole thing before you comment, but if you have played all four of these games like I have, let me know in the comments below how you would rank them. Alright, I think I got what I said. So, yeah, this is going to be a long video, so grab a seat, grab whatever snack. I have a beverage right here, and let's go ahead and talk about what the de facto kart racer of 2025 is. Starting with Mario Kart World. Alright, so we start off on January 16th, 2025 when the first trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2 dropped. Wait a minute. It's already been a year since that trailer came out? Oh, Jesus. Time flies. Anyways, during that trailer, it shows about the Nintendo Switch 2's new functions like mouse controls, a larger screen, larger Joy-Cons, and etc. And that was all neat and dandy. But during that few last seconds of that trailer, showed footage of a new Mario Kart. Oh, snap! And honestly, this is actually really interesting, and I'll come back to that in a moment. Afterwards, on April 2nd, 2025, oh my gosh, another year has passed. Anyways, a Nintendo Direct talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 finally dropped. I remember when I first heard that news, I literally decided to wake up that morning, make myself pancakes, and sit right here in this chair and watch the Direct on the big screen. What? It was very important to do. And of course, one of the games that was talked in that Direct was the new Mario Kart game, which was called Mario Kart World. And it looked really interesting. Pretty much an open world Mario Kart. And with character costumes, new tracks, and a free roam, which seemed pretty cool. And a lot of people were really excited about this. And then something slapped them in the face and knocked all of that excitement out. Because it turns out that this game was actually $80 US. Don't worry, we will be discussing that. And then after a few weeks of waiting, and Nintendo decided to put out a Mario Kart World trailer, pretty much talking about the basics of Mario Kart. Yeah, honestly, this was kind of a lame Direct. It just pretty much showed like, oh, this is how you play Mario Kart. These are the items. It pretty much rehashes what we learned from the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, which is just weird. Why would you do that? But people waited, and on June 5th of 2025, the Nintendo Switch 2 released along with Mario Kart World. I will say though, if there is one good thing about this, they made Mario Kart World a Switch 2 launch title, which honestly is not a bad idea. Yeah. In the original Nintendo Switch, Mario Kart 8 wasn't a launch title with it, but it was there for the console, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is one of the most top sold games on the Nintendo Switch. It is very successful, and rightfully so. So, will Mario Kart World mimic the success that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe had? Well, let's see.
Mario Kart World!
So, let's go ahead and start with the single player content. And that is the Grand Prix. So, the Grand Prix, it's basically your old Grand Prix from Mario Kart games. 4 races against CPUs, get first place, get a trophy. The same old. But there's a few twists. And while we get to these twists, let's talk about one of the new additions to Mario Kart World. There being 24 racers. Personally, I kind of like that change. It gives more racers and more chaotic and fun opponents to race across. Of course, I like the original 12, but hey, it doubling up was actually pretty good. However, there came a bit of an issue with that. The fact that races can be too chaotic and that racers can pretty much, like, I wouldn't say rubber band, but like they could like literally item spam a lot, which, oh boy, they need to nerf that. I'm sorry, they need to nerf. I don't remember what it was called, but they go back. They intentionally get last just to get good items. There's a term for it, but it'll come to me as we talk. But that's not the only new mechanic in this game. Along with there being 24 players in each race, the Grand Prix adds something that gets from one track to the other. And the fan base, y'all probably know what it is, the intermissions. Probably one of the most controversial mechanics Nintendo has ever put out. Okay, there might be more controversial mechanics, but bro, that's one of them. So if you guys haven't played Mario Kart World, which trust me, there have been people that don't even own a Switch 2, intermissions are basically like these like long straightaways where you go from one track to the other while like racing. Honestly, my friend Matt, y'all probably know him as Mr. Toad, aka Matt. He always likes to reference this one iCarly bit when Spencer is talking about the 4 straight lines. And he likes to joke about the intermissions like that. I don't know if I can play that clip because I don't know if I'll get copyrighted, but whatever. Anyways, so yeah, safe to say, not a lot of people found this really interesting. And I say it's a hot take that I don't really mind the intermissions all that much. Okay. I get it. Going from one direction to another in a straight line doesn't sound all that appealing, but honestly, I think it's different. I will say, there is something that Nintendo should have added that would potentially made intermissions a lot more fun, but we'll get to that. Another single player mode that is actually available is free roam. It was cool for the first 3 times, and then to me it kind of overstayed its welcome a bit. But yeah, so what free roam is, you can go to like specific tracks on the world map and you can like drive around. You don't have to worry about competing, you can just drive around listening to various Mario music, which I will get to the music in a moment. And honestly, the idea of that sounds pretty cool. Like, you could literally visit tracks that you've raced on and you could literally just drive on them, check out the scenery, see what the other NPCs are doing. You could possibly encounter other racers as well, take photos. It's great. Execution wise, I personally think it overstates its welcome after the 5th time booting it up. Now you're wondering, Jason, aren't there any like missions in free roam or stuff to do? And to that end, there is. You can actually pick up foods, which you can also do in the tracks, and have them change into a character's costume. That's unlockable, but we'll get to that. And there are there are these types of P-switches that have like different timed missions, which are actually pretty cool. But then here comes the problem with that. I like the missions themselves. The missions are pretty cool. It's the prizes that I'm just kind of iffy on. Because all we really get is stamps, which I guess they're kind of cool if you slap them on a cart, but you can only put one, and it doesn't, I mean, there's not a lot to it. I kind of wish there were, like, if you complete a mission or find some stuff, you get like a paint job or something, or maybe get another cart part or whatever it is. But it just doesn't really work. And then there's time trial, which I don't really try. I haven't done much time trials in the later games because it's just you race against your time, try to beat your time and all that, and that just doesn't interest me, so I don't really have much to say about that. Now, along with the Grand Prix, there is a new mode, a new Mario Kart mode, which is called Knockout Tour. And remember those intermissions? Well, think of a stage, then you have like 7 lap intermissions, and then you get one finale stage. And that's pretty much the tour. Honestly, I think this mode makes intermissions perfect. So what you have to do is you have to try to race and try to get to each of the checkpoints without coming below a certain point. So for example, I think the first one is you have to place 20th or below, and if you place below that placement, you're eliminated. This is a really, really cool mode that keeps you on your toes. You have to, like, even if you check past the checkpoint, you can't just relax. You have to keep walking in until the very end. That is really cool. My only complaint, and I've seen this complaint a lot, is that you can't make your own rallies with these. And I think there's like a video series. I don't remember the name of this YouTuber, but like his community comes up with custom knockout rallies, and I feel like Nintendo should have had us do that to customize our races, which is pretty cool. And then there's the battle mode, which I'll be completely honest, I also haven't played all that much. I really should have, but I haven't. At launch, it was Balloon Battle and Coin Runners, and I guess in Balloon Battle, if you run out of balloons, you literally just get eliminated like the good old days. And I kind of like that, the sound of that. But unfortunately, I heard that battle mode isn't that impressive. I mean, okay, I'm recording this in May. So as of like a few weeks ago, Nintendo added Bob-omb Derby, and I like Bob-omb Derby, but again, I still haven't tried it out yet. So those are all the modes. With all these modes, there should be a way of replaying these modes and what you get if you replay these modes. And a little bit you do. There are unlockables in this game. Wow, a game that has unlockables, huh? So like I mentioned in Free Roam, there are these like food items that you can pick up and have your characters run into and pick up, and they'll transform into that costume. If it's the costume you didn't get, you keep it. I like this feature, but I feel like for someone who's playing this for the first time and doesn't know where everything is, it can be kind of a hassle to look around the map for that one costume that you're missing, only just for it to be repeats and you just wasted your time. And that's another thing. Unlocking characters can mostly rely on luck for the first time. Now the food items, it's not necessarily luck because they're basically predetermined. So basically what that means is, for Daisy, for example, and I'll just say this, just spoiler alert, I think Daisy has my favorite set of costumes in the game. I don't know, she looks good in a lot of them. But I digress. If you choose Daisy in a desert suit or a desert area, she'll transform into her Oasis costume. Now that kind of makes sense. It's common for that. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily like RNG based. You want to know what is RNG based? The Kamek item. So, like what you pretty much saw in the trailer, not only can you play as the usual Mario characters like Mario, Luigi, the princesses, Rosalina, Pauline, Toadette, all that, you actually get to play some of the NPCs. And as someone who loves playing as Mario enemies from time to time, it's kind of nice to see them. Of course, you have Cow, and come on, everybody reacted to Cow. And also Sidestepper. But there's also some other like neat characters like Swoop, Pianta, and even Adequap. And you can get them by using the Kamek orb or the Kamek item. And this is completely RNG, and I really don't like this unlocking method. It's so long, and it's just so stupidly RNG that it just, you gotta just, just have us, like, and that's like one of the things. Don't have like static unlockables. Have like many ways of unlocking characters. Like, you could use a Kamek orb, or you can find an enemy in free roam, defeat it, and you get to play as that. Like, give us options, Nintendo. Give us options. So now I talked about music a little bit during like the intermissions and free roam, but let me just talk about the music altogether. Probably my favorite OST so far, bro. Not only does this game have Mario Kart songs, it also has songs from the entire Mario series. And that is really cool. And it's all remixed too. There's different variations, remixes. Bro, the only, and I mean it, the only thing that's disappointing about this is that there's no in-game jukebox. I feel like you have to go to Nintendo Music for that, but like, why? Just add a jukebox. I've heard, and I might be wrong, I think this game has drifting away from WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games, and I haven't heard it yet. I just saw that it was in the game, and like, they do have that. Look, where is it? Where is it? I can't. Where is it? Where is it, game? And now I want to talk about the tracks. By far, one of the most kind of iffy subjects to talk about with these. And to be honest, I kind of like the majority of these tracks. Now, if going through these games, I'm going to try to list some of my personal favorite tracks. And I want to talk to them about why I like these tracks. Okay. But before that, I just want to talk about the tracks themselves. I think they're pretty cool, and they're really, and some of them are like really gorgeous though. However, I think my one complaint about these tracks is some of them are like way too dependent on the intermissions. And I'll tell you which one of them I think are like way too independent on the missions to be kind of interesting. So, for some of my favorite tracks, I like Salty Speedway, or I think it's Salty Speedway. I think there's two Salties, I don't know. But I like Salty Speedway. I dig the Italy vibe. I know not a lot of people are all that interested in driving on the water, but I kind of like the boat controls for the most part. The scenery is beautiful. I love the music, and I just like going through these as many times as I can. Toad's Factory, which returns for Mario Kart Wii. Thank you, Nintendo. Thank you for bringing this track back, man. I missed playing this track. And it's as bombastic as always, man. It's so awesome just to hear the music, see all the machines, the sirens going off. Just so good, man. Another returning track that I'm actually a fan of is Shy Guy Bazaar. In Mario Kart 7 and I believe Tour, but I don't even play Tour anymore. The whole stage was centered in nighttime. I always liked Shy Guy Bazaar in 7 because I kind of like the desert vibe and the Arab vibe a lot. Look, I like myself some Arab theming, alright? But in World, it turned to daytime. Now it's in the daytime and it looks kind of different without being completely different. If you like know what I mean. It's still recognizable, but like very more detailed and all that. And of course, well, actually before we get to that, let's talk about this game's Bowser's Castle. Probably the hardest track in the game, not gonna lie. There's just so many pitfalls, lava, just tight corners, and oh my gosh, like I feel like, okay, I played this before owning the Switch 2 in Mario Kart World. I played this game at a friend's house who already owned the game. And I played Bowser's Castle for the first time, and oh my god, that track kicked my butt. Like I just didn't know what I was doing, and it was like really, really difficult, man. Like, oh man. And now we talked about Bowser's Castle, we have to talk about another Mario Kart staple. I'm pretty sure you already know what I'm talking about. We need to talk about this game's Rainbow Road. And I don't think I mean any hyperbole or any exaggeration when I say this. This might be my top 3 favorite Rainbow Road tracks in the entirety of the franchise. First off, the level is huge. Like, oh my gosh, it's so huge. There's different parts to it, and then the final lap, when just seeing the train of all of these set pieces from all of these tracks, while just the music is just bombastic and just like oh my gosh, I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, like literally I almost cried, and right now I still feel tears like swelling up anytime I think of that scene. It's just, oh my gosh, bro, like there were like almost tears literally coming out of my eyes after seeing that Rainbow Road, bro. Like just seeing that moment, and near the end when the racer just flies into the finish, like oh my god, man, oh my god, like I got emotional. I kind of got emotional. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I kind of got emotional. No, but yeah. So those are the tracks. I kind of like them. However, I feel like I wouldn't say there were any bad tracks. Any tracks I outright disliked. But there are 2 that I'm just more disappointed in with its concept and execution. The first one, and I'm gonna really get shot for saying this, I think Boo Cinema is a little bit disappointing. Hear me out though, hear me out. I love the atmosphere. The atmosphere looks cool, it looks creepy, and I love the concept of going into a haunted theater and going into the movie and racing in the movie. There's only one problem I have with that though. The going into the movie lasts like 10 seconds and then you're out. And it's just that one movie. It would have been better on each lap. If you were playing this without intermissions, it would have been like on each lap, it's like a different movie and different like track layout. That would have made it really cool, honestly. But no. I just feel like the intermission part where it's like a haunted boardwalk going into a haunted theater, I feel like that it makes that track a lot more better, in my opinion. Another track that I'm kind of disappointed at, and I feel like it does better with intermissions, is Faraway Oasis. So, honestly, I like the intermissions a lot. I feel like racers racing along with giraffes, zebras, and ostriches kind of make that track kind of special, and honestly, it's pretty cool actually. However, if you play it by yourself, you don't race with the giraffes, you don't race with the ostriches, you don't race with the zebras. It's just like, it just feels like, I don't remember the track layout, but it just kind of feels like a circle. And it's kind of lame, honestly. But those are the only 2 tracks, I say. Yeah, of course we have like the easier tracks like Mario Bros. Circuit, and oh yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Koopa Troopa Beach, but I kind of like the vibe of it. Also, it's an SNES track. Of course it wasn't going to be all that like different. Last thing before we ultimately end this, I want to go on to my final thoughts on online. And honestly, I don't know why. I'm just kind of into online, honestly. I feel like this game isn't all that like energetic with its online. You go into a free roam as a lobby, which okay, is pretty cool. But then you have to choose like either you want to do intermissions or tracks, and it's just like everybody does the tracks, even though there are times like where I like doing intermissions a little bit. And okay, I need to mention this because this was a thing that happened, I think, during that summer of Mario Kart World. So there was a patch that Nintendo made where online, the only way you could do original tracks is if you hit random. If you don't hit random, you're forced to do an intermission, which, not gonna lie, is, I wouldn't say it's scummy, but it's kind of restrictive, honestly, because like I feel like Nintendo knew that intermissions weren't popular, and they were like, well, guess what? You guys gotta do the intermissions because they're part of our game. Which is like hella restrictive. Like, because people complained and people didn't like it, Nintendo, in the next patch, Nintendo basically just cut that out of the game because people like did not like that. And that's the thing though. This game has a lot of potential, and you could see me that I'm like I personally had my fun with this game. A lot of people didn't because of the intermissions, and because free roam felt bare bones, and because just like nothing substantial happened with this. That's probably one of the reasons why people like to say, oh, this is the worst Mario Kart game or whatever, which, okay, you don't have to go that far, but yeah, like, a lot of people don't really like this. And as for me, like, I kind of like the intermissions, but I get it. I get not a lot of people like them. And honestly, there's this thing going on that people are saying that Mario Kart World is a lot more bare bones, that I feel like there should be room for DLC. And in my opinion, I feel like this game would benefit more for DLC. So like, for example, Donkey Kong Bonanza has come out, and of course in that game they have Pauline as a teenager and DK in a completely different outfit. They could have add that, like, definitely add that in there. Obviously there are characters that there are some key characters that are missing. I remember a few months back, I kind of wanted Ashley to come in, or any WarioWare representatives to come in. But I knew that, let's be real, I knew that wasn't going to happen, so I wasn't all that surprised. What I was surprised with some of the characters that didn't make it in. For example, Egad. Egad was supposed to be in Mario Kart DS, but was scrapped. This could have been a good game to have Egad in. But the character that I was really really shocked they didn't include was Prince Florian. Prince Florian is one of the new characters in one of the new Mario games, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And they didn't include him or any of the Poplins? I just found that kind of weird. Maybe in the DLC they'll add that. Maybe they'll add tracks based off of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, since that game has a DLC, Bella Park. I haven't played that yet, but I do want to. And yeah, that would make things like pretty unique. Overall, though, I do genuinely feel that Mario Kart World gets way too much controversy and, like, just way too much hate. Like, if you haven't checked online or on YouTube, a lot of people really, really do not like Mario Kart World. And to each their own, I guess, but, like, honestly, it's not that bad of a game. Before I move on to the next game, though, we need to talk about its $80 price game. And here's the question. Is this game worth 80 bucks? I guess I'm just going to be echoing what other people say, but in my personal opinion, no. This game should not be 80 bucks. I feel like it should be 60 at best for like a full price game for this. I feel like $80, there should be like way more stuff. Like there should be like a mission mode, or there should be like, I wouldn't say a story mode, but yeah, that. So I played this game, and I guess I should tell you what I did. So I played this game, I got all the cars, I played all the tracks at least twice, and I unlocked Mirror Mode, which if you don't know what Mirror Mode does, I think you have to hit a certain number of P-switch, complete those missions, collect medallions, and activate question mark panels. And then I think you're supposed to beat the special cup twice, and then there should be a cutscene that has Princess Peach's mural at Peach Stadium, and you have to go through it, and that's how you unlock Mirror Mode. I will admit, that is a really cool way to unlock an extra mode. So good on you for that one. And I generally like Mirror Mode, but you want to know what other mode I feel like should also benefit from this? And this goes back into the mode for intermissions. I legitimately think 200cc should have been in this game to make intermissions a lot more exciting. I feel like it would have, like you would speed through the intermission, trying to avoid all of these frantic items and trying to adapt to the new environment. And I feel like it really should have been in the game, because 200cc was a staple in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's so weird that they don't have it as we're recording this. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Mario Kart World. I enjoyed it, but I can absolutely see how many people might not enjoy it, and I feel like it could be better. So that's one racing game down and 3 more to go. And throughout this video, I'm actually going to be going in release order. So basically, we're going to be going to the next game. And of course, Mario Kart World was one of the biggest points in 2025. And of course, we have to have competitors And of course, this competitor is a animal that you all know and love, and is one of the most iconic characters in the entirety of media. And for this, I will bring you the next game after Mario Kart World, which is Sonic Race. Oh, that's right. You were before that game. We're already doing this, huh? I guess, yeah, that's true. You did release before that, so let's talk about Garfield Kart 2, All You Can Drift. Alright, so Garfield Kart 2 actually came out on September 10th, so it's a little while ago. So this is actually a sequel to the original Garfield Kart, which I have never played. It was on platforms. I think it was like Switch and PC, maybe PlayStation. I don't remember. Please don't quote me on that. I don't really feel like yeah, I don't even feel like looking it up. So, we already know this, guys. Mario Kart is one of the most iconic brands. And obviously, because of that, many companies want to try out the Mario Kart format and just see like how well it does. Many companies have done that. And Garfield is one of them. We know Garfield, right? An orange cat who loves eating lasagna and hates Mondays. He was in newspaper comics. He has his own movie, a lot of TV shows, and he's like a very well-known brand he's very popular, like one of the most iconic and popular cartoon characters of all time. And of course, because of them, there has to be games like this and Garfield Party 2, which, oh boy, when I talk about party games, that's gonna be something, huh? I'm just gonna make this quick because this doesn't really deserve that much to talk about. Alright, this isn't gonna take long, so let's just get started. The menus look so uninspired. Their character roster, there's only 9. Now, I know Garfield is very limited with its characters, but, like, there's only 9. Like, come on. Okay, off topic and off script while I was writing my notes, I don't check that often, and instead of saying, a cop? What? Okay, I was saying it feels like a cop-out of Mario Kart. Okay, so I'll just get on to what I was saying this. So, basically, remember how I said way back when that Mario Kart is a great, like, one of the most iconic franchises and people like to go through that route? Well, this game literally copies stuff from Mario Kart 8. And it's very noticeable. Like, there's sometimes anti-gravity, there's items. Oh my god, look. The award for unoriginal items goes to Garfield Kart 2. We have green items that just bounce off, red items that home on, and blue items that shoot them up to first place. As well as lasagna, which is boost. Lasagna 3 times I can go around the cart. Seriously, are they serious? Now, I'll just talk about the Grand Prix because it's just really short. It's a standard Grand Prix, 4 tracks, However, the fourth one, for some reason, is a track that has multiple laps, like Baby Park. And let me just say it doesn't work because it doesn't have the same charm as Baby Park. Like, I'll just say also, the music is really uninspiring. Like, the controls just, it feels really bad to play. And, yeah. So my history with this game. I bought this game for this video, booted it up on the Switch. There are only 3 cups, 4 in each. That means there's only 12 cups in this. So I did that. So I played those tracks, got bored really quickly, spent an hour on this game, and shut it off. And did not touch it. Until today, because I needed to review to see if it was worse. If it was bad. And let's just be real, when they gave us an option to do 4 races, I only did 2, was immediately bored, and just turned it off. I don't believe this is any exaggeration to say this has to be one of the laziest games I've ever played. Like, this is literally straight out of Mario Kart 8. The items are just so uninteresting. The animations are uninteresting. The tracks are okay, I guess, but no standouts really. And it just really plays really awfully. So you probably know where I'm going to place this. Now, I'm just going to stop talking about this game because I don't have anything else. This is probably my least favorite racer of all time and probably one of my least favorite games of all time. So yeah, let's move on. So after that game, we can kick back to where we all left off, and we're going to talk about the real competitor for Mario Kart World. And dare I say, with a lot of people saying this, even myself included maybe, probably surpassed Mario Kart for once in its life. And this game, bro, I cannot wait to talk about. I have so much to say about this game. It's finally time for the real rival of Mario to come out and speed towards us yet again. As we dive into Sonic Racing Crossworlds. It was on December of 2024, during the Game Awards. There was a teaser of Shadow turning on a dark car and him traveling through a ring portal to another place. And then the title breach of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. When I first saw this as a thumbnail from the Game Awards, I was kind of disappointed. And the reason for that being, I thought this game was just going to be another mobile game that's not going to be on consoles, and that I won't really play because I don't really play mobile games as much anymore. It happened with Sonic Dream Team. It even happened with the other Sonic Racing. So I thought it was going to be another sequel on mobile. To my pleasant surprise, that wasn't the case. And this game was going to be on all major platforms. Yes, that includes the Switch. And when I saw that, I was ecstatic. I was jumping out of my seat, not screaming at the top of my lungs, but genuinely, like, really, really, really excited. I think I've already told you, I love the Sonic racing games. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, this is backwards, but maybe a little front flip, is one of my favorite games, kart racers, to play. There were times I even preferred it to Mario Kart Wii. Wait, look, I love both of these games, but there were times where I actually preferred this to Mario Kart Wii, which is very, very interesting, but I digress. So, my anticipation was just at an all-time high. So I just waited and waited for different trailers. Of course, there were basically like a lot of leaks, and I just can't stand leaks. But anyways, and then there was an image that leaked a lot, where it just showed what the title screen would look like. And it's the title screen that we see right now. Like right now. It had a lot of people speculating. The dinosaur looked like it was going to be like the dinosaur from Dinosaur Jungle from Sonic and the Secret Rings. And one of the track layouts looked like it was from Ocean View. And then I think in February, I think this was a week after my birthday, okay, a trailer for the game finally aired, and it showed all of these different playable racers racing in a cinematic cutscene and also in-game footage. The trailer shows us what these warp rings were, and it's rings that go to a different place each time. During this, there were so many different characters just to go around. We got to see Cream come back, Big's back, Sage is making her debut. So much stuff is happening. And even Jet, the Babylon Rogues, came back. If you guys have seen my videos throughout, you know that I made a video talking about this trailer as well. So just so many different stuff came back, and it got a lot of people speculating. Who else do you think we're gonna see? What DLC characters were there? So already the marketing in this game is really good. It showed up in State of Plays. It showed up during Summer's Games Fest, which, come on, that's like a lot, like a Sonic hub at the moment. And even showed what the DLC Sega characters were in Hatsune Miku, Joker, and Ichiban. And all this was just really, really cool to watch. Which also got a lot of people saying and comparing, because of course they do, that this game might be the one to actually take on Mario Kart for the best kart racer. And honestly, it was looking really, really good for Sonic. Now, a lot of people say this game was trying to compete with Mario Kart World, which honestly is not a bad comparison. However, it turns out in an interview, I need to see if I can find the source, that Sega wasn't really going for competing against Mario Kart World. Hell, they didn't even know that Mario Kart World was in development at all. They were trying to compete against Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So, which I find very, and honestly, wait, you can actually see that because the Game Awards in 2024 and even the trailer in February was shown first and way more first than Mario Kart World. Because, think about it. The December 2024 showed the teaser trailer for Crossworlds, while World was, teased on the Nintendo Switch 2 version in January. So, if you make it up, So if you get that, you can see where that's coming from. So yeah, people were talking about how this game was going to be really good and go up against Mario Kart. To the point where I can't believe this, Sega literally made another trailer. But this trailer was actually really special, as it was supposed to be a callback trailer to how the Nintendo and Sega rivalry was back in the 90s, where they were comparing like Sonic to Super Mario Kart, or like NES to Genesis. That was a literal callback, and not only do I find it to be a really cool callback to ignite the rivalry between the two, it was also kind of savage with this line.
Or, what if you want to roam around on the open road?
This commercial was so big that it actually trended with that trailer in the shot of the turtle and cow. And it just spammed so much, bro. Like, oh man, that was just insane commercial. But after a long wait, they had a closed beta test and an open beta test and a demo, which really showed Sega's confidence in that game. On September 25th of 2025, along with Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC, Sonic Racing Crossworlds was officially released, with the Switch 2 version coming out around December 4th. Can I just say, before we get into the game itself, how amazing the marketing was for Crossworlds? There was so many stuff. Trailers, there were commercials, and as of a lot of recent Sonic games, there's even been like an animation for the game that is basically involves Shadow as the main character. And that was the animation I got spoiled when he actually won the race. Yeah, I wanted to go in that video fresh, but people have already spoiled that Shadow won because people don't know how to keep their damn mouth shut. And of course, because of that, right? Look, they even had merch of this. And yes, this is merch of Team Eggman. So, yeah, I just wanted to basically say just how they're really confident. They were really confident with this game. But how does it play? Well, that's what we're going to get into. Starting off with the single player. And the single player, oh man, I'm trying to get my notes up because I did take it like a mini break, but now I'm trying to get my notes up. So the single player is the Grand Prix. So yeah, so it's the Grand Prix, but there's a lot of things different. For example, we go through 4 tracks, except there's only 3 tracks per cup, even though we go through it 4 times. And the 4th one, and I really like this is so different. The 4th track is basically a medley of the 3 tracks. Each being the first lap is the first track, the second lap is the second track, and the third track is the final track in the cup. That is such a cool way of doing something completely different. I'll go more into the gimmick of the whole game. And then the second thing, and I really, really like this, the Grand Prix actually made rival characters stand out. You know how in Grand Prix there's always this one character that is like you need to beat. You need to be who's also challenging for first place, who you see in every single race that places really closer to you. Yeah, they have that kind of rival system. However, in this game, it actually makes it prevalent with two words: rival interactions. Well, first off, for your rival, you can choose whoever you want to race against as your rival, and even increase their difficulty. And you can get more tickets the higher you put your rival. So like, the higher your level is, the more rewards you get, basically. But now, let's get into the rival interactions. I love these. I love this system. I love the system so much. It shows each of the characters having some unique dialogue with one of the other characters. There's nearly 4 hours of this, by the way. So yeah, again, every character can interact with any character. It makes so much replay value. And if you're insane enough, like a lot of these people, you can actually choose to see who you want to interact with. And there's just so many combinations. And of course, I did this before while talking about the open network test, but I have to show some off. One of my personal favorites that wasn't in the open network test but was in the full game was with Vector and Cream.
No, Mr. Vector. Mother will be extra happy if I win.
Wait a minute. Did you just... You can't pull that on me. Oh, man. What am I supposed to do now?
Bro, the first time I saw that rival interaction, I bursted out laughing. Bro, it's like literally Cream literally just innocently just tries to manipulate Vector into letting her win. It's just like, she's like, she's like, hey, if you let me win, then I could tell Mom all about you. And Vector's like, really? You could talk? Like, really? Like, oh my gosh, just like, I died. Also, I have to say it's nice that they're referencing other characters too. Like, they're referencing Vanilla. There was a reference to Vanilla. There's a reference to different games. Like, I remember this. It's so good, man. Just hearing continuity and just seeing these characters just great. Just like, I'm so glad this is actually a thing. I don't care if there was no story mode. There's no story mode. I don't care. As long as they have this, I'm just like, I'm okay with it, bro. And I'm trying to think. Like, oh yeah, it's just like, there's just so many characters that gets like great spotlights. Shadow has great lines. Silver has great lines. Big, Espio, Vector, Sage, right here. Sage gets her time in the spotlight.
The doctor's daughter?
Perhaps if you put more care into your construction, you'd provide more of a challenge.
I am the culmination of Dr. Eggman's genius. You are a relic of 50 years ago.
And can I just say, I'm just going to say this real quick. It's so great they're making Sage a mainstay right now. Like, after, like, Frontiers, they know, like, wow, people do like Sage. So I'm glad she's in her debut. You can see me play as her a lot. So, yeah. I encourage you guys just to look at the rival interactions. They're just really good. Other single-player modes is time trial. I remember saying in Mario Kart World I didn't even bother because it was just the same thing. Well, time trial, yes, you do beat times. However, there is something different that keeps me coming back to that, but never go to Mario Kart World. And that is every time you finish 3 laps, you actually get ranked on based on how well you do. And if you get an A rank or higher, if you get like A ranks in like the amount in like 3 A ranks basically per time you complete a track, you actually get music from older Sonic games, which is really, really cool actually. I'll talk more about the music in the jukebox in a moment, but I just really like that it incentivizes you to keep trying. Oh yeah, and people have been trying to get S ranks. There were times where I tried to, but the most I can get are A ranks. So now that was single player. For multiplayer, there's Race Park, where you have all of these different modes. Team battles. You get to do single races. If you get to do single races, you get to customize your own race, like versus races a little bit. I really like that it's giving us so much more customization and so much more modes as well. I will say though, and I've heard a lot of people say this, I feel like Crossworlds would benefit pretty cool if they had like an elimination type mode like Knockout Tour. Except for like each time you go through a travel ring, which is the gimmick, but I'll get into that. Whoever's like last in the last place, they get eliminated. I remember Team Sonic Racing, yes, I'm mentioning that, actually had a knockout mode. And by the way, guys, fun fact, a knockout mode isn't only a Mario Kart World thing. Because they had this in Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. It was a part of the mission mode and multiplayer, where you have to get in front of the pack during the amount of time. And hey, I love knockout mode in this game, and I love knockout tour in Mario Kart World. So that was pretty cool to get. There's also online, which is pretty good. And then honestly, let me get to online. I'm going to save online a little later because I have some things to say about that. But let's talk about the gimmicks of this game. The Crossworlds. So here's how each races go. For each race there are 3 laps. Yeah, obviously. Lap 1 you go into the track that is chosen and you see. Lap 2 on the other hand, the leading person gets to choose which crossworld to go to, whether it's random or the one that's established already. And I love this gimmick. Because lap 1 can be the same track, but lap 2 can be a completely different kind of track. And then lap 3 is the return to the first lap, except with some changes. Bro, I love this because it helps change up strategies for how to win the race. It makes it like so interesting. So many play styles. It's just so interesting to figure out what to do. Now I want to take a moment to talk more about the gameplay, or more about the vehicles, because there are actually a lot of different types of vehicles. There's speed, which goes throughout your speed. Acceleration, which determines how fast you move, which isn't the max speed, that's speed. Handling is how well you can turn and handle on the track. And power is, I think, where you spin out less, a little bit. Yeah. However, there's another type of car, which is the boost. And the boost cars are the extreme gears from Sonic Riders. Yep, they are bringing back Sonic Riders. If they're bringing back Jet and the Babylon Rogues, which are right here, they gotta bring back extreme gears. They don't have their rider skins, but I'll get into that. I'll get into that more later. And I love using the extreme gears. They're like the bikes in Mario Kart, honestly. Like, I feel like you boost well with them, but they're a lot weaker and they take hits well. But I still like using them as a play style. And here's the thing that they added in Crossworlds. There is this thing called the gadget system, where you can where it helps impact your race. Whether it's getting rings for more boost, upgrading your tricks, which is what I usually do, and helping you get like better items and whatnot. I love this because it shows like so much customization and so much play styles, which Mario Kart World didn't have. Wait, Jason, we're gonna compare them later. Don't compare them now. We're gonna compare them later. So yeah, I like the vehicle customizations for the most part. And that's one of my, here's another issue that a lot of people, a little bit myself included, have. I'm glad this game has customization, including like decals and how to change up your ride, because online I've seen a lot of people with YouTube logos, Amazon packages and all that, and a lot of stickers of their favorite characters. However, you can't stack the stickers, which kind of is a little bit restrictive, to be honest. And like, I feel like the best car that's worthy, or like that's like easier to like modify for decals is the minecart cart, I guess, from the DLC. And speaking of the DLC, oh boy, the DLC is a mixed bag throughout all of these. Am I wrong to say I kind of like the DLC that we got at the moment? So I think this is a good segue to the DLC. So, if you guys don't know, obviously, right there, I've said this before, there is actually DLC in this game. Not only are there free characters, free being like the Sega characters, but there's also the Season Pass characters from third party. So, first one was Minecraft with Steve, Creeper, and Alex. The second one was, surprisingly enough, SpongeBob. I have a whole story I want to talk about, but I'm not going to dive into it here. So if you want to hear about that story, it's really short. I'll probably talk about it a bit later. With SpongeBob and Patrick. Pac-Man, which features Pac-Man and the Ghost, they're pretty much like the sprites from Pac-Man World 2, since at the time that game and Crossworlds were in tandem with each other. And then as of recently, Mega Man dropped with Mega Man and Wily Castle. So that's pretty neat. And then we have Avatar and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which as of this recording we haven't gotten any news on the stage or or who the characters are, even though we pretty much have an idea. So I like those. And the second characters I really like. Right now, there are 3 Sega characters that we haven't gotten, but right now we're still waiting for Oro to join. Yes, Oro is in the game! So I guess I should run down the Sega DLC. It's Hatsune Miku, Joker, Ichiban, like I mentioned before. Then, afterwards, we had Knights! Yes! Knights in the game. Y'all don't know how ecstatic I was for Knights to be in the game, bro. Like, I was just so happy when we actually got our confirmation. Okay, so we got Knights, and I from Super Monkey Ball. I'm still really miffed I didn't finish the DLC because I didn't get all the rewards from the festival because I had things to do. And then to the surprise of everyone, they included Tangle and Whisper from the IDW comics. Look, when people heard that Tangle and Whisper were in the game, so many people were really excited. Meanwhile for me, I was just like, oh, it's okay, that's cool. I'm more excited about Knights being in the game, but hey, Tangle and Whisper, cool. That's nice that they're here. So yeah. And then, as of right now, the third wave of characters came, which were Red from Angry Birds, Goro Majiba from the Pirate Yakuza. I guess we're having another Yakuza rep. And then finally, Oro, who we're still waiting on from Puyo Puyo. So, bro, we only have 3 left. Here's hoping for Amigo and BD Joe. By now, y'all will probably know who it is. So, ultimately, I think that's a solid lineup for DLC. But I really feel like there should be more to it. Because there are still a lot of fan favorite Sega characters that a lot of people want to see. And then that gets into the problems people have with the DLC. And to tell you the truth, while I get it, is it wrong to say that I don't really mind it? So let me go run down the reasons why people don't like it from my notes. Number 1, they don't have voice acting. Okay, I will admit that is kind of lame, but I have a defense for it. So it's pretty clear that people are kind of upset that these characters don't have voice acting. And, well, and for some, it makes sense. Like, the Season Pass characters, it makes sense. Like, seriously, like, I don't think it would have been possible for them to get Tom Kenny and them to do SpongeBob and all that. But then the people say, like, well, that's not the big issue. The Sega characters should have gotten voices. And to each of their credits, I'll just talk about Miku, Joker, and Ichiban. And I'll just say this, in defense of them, I'll just say in defense for Joker and Ichiban, yes, they're owned by Sega, but they're not owned by Sonic Team, which is the developer of this game. See, Joker from Persona 5 is from Atlas, and Ichiban is from Ryogoken Studios, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not well versed with Yakuza, so yeah, I mean, I'm trying out Yakuza 0 Director's Cut for the first time. I like it. It's a fine game, but I don't think it's anything I'd be super into, but I'm still gonna play it. So I get those two. But why the hell is the Werehog not voiced? That always confused me. They literally could have gotten Roger Craig Smith to try his hand at a Werehog impression, and I would be kind of the ones to complain about no voices, if not for the fact that they don't have victory themes. I feel like them having unique victory themes, in my personal opinion, is just okay. It's just flat out okay with me. Because, wow, all of these characters have such unique victory themes. In the case of Knights, they have 4 victory themes depending on where they place, which is awesome. So yeah, that's one problem. Number 2, the second problem, them being Sega characters but not Sonic characters. Oh my gosh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing that online. Look, I know it's called Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Yes, I know there's a lot of Sonic characters that haven't been in there that would have been great. Infinite, Mephiles, Chaos. I was going to say Tangle and Whisper, but they're in. But yeah, all of those. There are some that, like Sonic characters that absolutely could have been in there, but they just decide not to put in. And rather, they put in Sega characters. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with putting Sega characters in a party Sonic game? What's wrong with that? Like in the Riders games, they have freaking Knights, and all that in the Riders games. It's not like it's affecting like the main continuity. So like, let the Sega characters come in. I will admit though, I feel like a way to negate or like make those people happy is if like Sega decides to do a Sonic Pass where it's just a pass of DLC Sonic characters. So that way they can include characters like Tikal or maybe Classic Sonic or maybe even Marine. Like, you know, like all those like Sonic characters. Yes, I know we have Tangle and Whisper in the free one, but I'm mostly talking about characters from the games basically. Like you can have like I feel like it would be great for Sega to have a Sonic Pass. So yeah. And then finally the Season Pass. I'm going to make this quick. I just added this. A lot of people, like, I'm just going to add this real quick. Like, a lot of people don't really like the SpongeBob DLC. They just don't like the Bikini Bottom level. Hey, I enjoy the Bikini Bottom level, so yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So yeah, so now I want to go back to DLC again and talk about online because for online we have the world match, you can play with your friends. But I feel like one thing that keeps me coming back to this game is the DLC festivals, where they have a festival for the DLC characters. So by the end of this month, well, if determining when this video comes out, the Puyo Puyo Festival will already be out and done. So, yeah. By the way, just out of nowhere, I'm thinking the teams are gonna be Ringo, Aural, and Amity, just because they're kind of like, I think the main 3 for Puyo Puyo. So, yeah. Let's see if I'm right. Anyways, I like these festivals because it gives us a chance to get the decals, get the titles. I like to get titles and try to complete these. So I kind of like doing these. And another thing for online, and as of me recording this is actually going on right now. They're bringing in the Legends competition. So that means whatever characters or players get up to Legend rank, they get to go into Legend comps, so they could get a chance to get titles, tickets, and, well, let's be honest, bragging rights. And I played in some of them. They don't mess around. These are really, really brutal. I've won some, but like they're like really brutal, and honestly, I feel like they have like a good challenge for this. So now that I've got that out of the way, I want to go into a little bit, just being like a little bit negative, or like just a little bit negative. Oh wait, actually, before we get into like the negatives part, I should talk about some of my favorite tracks, like I did in Mario Kart World. So there are a lot. Honestly, I like a lot of these tracks a lot. Actually, there's not ones I would say that are downright awful, but my favorite standouts are East Stadium. I think East Stadium is a really, really great and grandiose first track. First track track in each game. And I'm gonna say it. East Stadium better than Mario Kart Stadium from 8 Deluxe. Honestly, in my opinion, better than Mario Kart Stadium. Water Palace. This has the boat controls. I just think it's really beautiful. It looks really nice. I know there's no back-to-back remix, but because of copyright holds, it's understandable. Wonder Museum. Probably one of my favorite tracks in the game. Lap 1, we have all like the exhibits of all the different stuff from the past Sonic games and whatnot. And then the third lap, it starts just to become like Night of the Museum, where the exhibits just come to life, and I just think that's really cool. Ocean View, bro. Just hearing the song for this is just so good. I'm saying this right now before we get into this. I think this game's soundtrack is very overhated. I really do. Like it's different, yes, but honestly, it's a good different. I welcome it. Anyways, I love the boat controls. I love going through it. It's just, it changed a lot from its other games, which is pretty interesting. Pumpkin Mansion is probably okay. I promised myself I wouldn't compare this to Mario Kart World, but I'm going to anyways, just for this. I think Pumpkin Mansion is a better haunted track than Boo Cinema, because at least you get to go through the mansion, and there's like so many more like gimmicks to it. Like you go in the mansion and you go outside. It's just so cool, man. I really like Pumpkin Mansion a lot. Aqua Forest is a track I was not expecting to like a lot. Like just doing all these tricks in the water, finding these shortcuts, it's just so satisfying to really pull off. Market Street, which, okay, I know I made that tracks tier list and I put that in. Oh, we're not gonna see that because there's like, I think there's like so many on these tracks. I don't know why I just put like not likely at all. I'm just kicking myself. Ow. I didn't really kick myself. But I really liked it, and I just love the music. Bro, Johnny Atma. I could recognize him with that guitar. He killed it with that guitar. And finally, Eggman Expo. So, I love how it's just basically like, kind of like Wonder Museum, except all of Eggman's like creations, and just like all his creations over the years. Like the Chicken Unleashed, the Egg Dragoon, the Death Egg Robot, just the swinging balls, which is like an homage to the first ever boss of the Sonic series. It's just so great. And those are just the main tracks. I like the Crossworlds as well, even though they're like a lot shorter. Dragon Road, man, another Sonic Unleashed track. Just like, I love like the flames. I love they brought back the Phoenix. I love just how well it looks, man. Galactic Parade, I don't care. The music slaps in that, I don't care. Just going through space, just flying through space and racing on the roads. It's like really good, man. Bro, Golden Temple. The first time I played this, I remember I played this game for the channel. The first time I played this, my mouth was open throughout the entirety of that Crossworld the first time I saw it. I was just held back at how gorgeous and awesome this was. Bro, this needs to come back in the next Future Sonic game, bro. Alaska. Oh, the music. Oh, and the environment and the ice and just, oh, so good. And finally, Steampunk City, which is just, wow, just really, really cool. I always liked that one. So yeah, now I will say though, for as much as I really like these tracks and I like the Crossworlds, I have a little bit of a nitpick I want to do with that, and we're kind of going a little bit into the negatives, but this is a nitpick. So, for unlocking stuff, like if you've done all of the cups, I think save for secret, but I think you also have to do the secret cup, you actually get Supersonic. And I only tried him once, and yeah, he's pretty much broken like I expected. But going from that, one of the other rewards is that for the Grand Prix, main tracks can also be Crossworlds, basically. They can appear on lap 2. And I am really mixed about this. On one hand, I think having all of the tracks be a lap 2 is really, really interesting. It really makes each race different and unpredictable. And I really like that. But on the other hand, it kind of takes away from the Crossworlds being special. Like, the Crossworlds are supposed to be like these mini tracks for lap 2 that you just go through. And those are like really special, honestly. But that's a nitpick. I do though wish that you can turn it off during the Grand Prix. You can turn it off during Race Park going into the settings. You can turn it off and just have it be Crossworlds. I kind of wish they did it for the Grand Prix as well, where you get to turn it off. Maybe I didn't see it. I don't know, but yeah. Another nitpick, but this is much more of an issue here, is for online, there are times where I've gotten the same tracks over again. So for example, I think it's like Urban Canyon and Minecraft World. I kind of low-key got sick of those I low-key kind of got sick of those tracks because of this. Where like on one hand, you have a race and you pick Minecraft World. Okay, that's fine. All right, I finished the race and you could select it again? Why? There's like what? 24 different tracks out of 3? Just pick those, man. Okay, another gripe I have, and again, this isn't like a huge deal, but I still feel like I need to bring this up because I think this is a real noticeable oversight. And this has to do with Race Park when you're doing custom races. So I'm doing 4 races, and I have the footage right here. I'm doing 4 races, and I decide, you know what? I want all of them to be random. I want it to be just completely random. Now, for me anyways, random when it comes to Mario Kart is that that random picks a random track, it picks this track, and once you're finished with that race, that track cannot be selected again until all the races are completed. I feel like that's how I view random. However, in this game, you get random and you get a track. So for example, Eggman Expo, like you see here. And then once that race ends and the next one comes up, the next track is Eggman Expo again instead of a completely random track. I think this is a really noticeable oversight with random. And if they were to patch up the game, I hope they do it. Maybe they have, and I haven't been paying attention, but I really hope it is patched up. So we are almost done with Crossworlds. I talked a little bit about them. Ooh, let me go into Jukebox real quick, because I do like the Jukebox, and we get to actually listen to the music of the game, whether it be menu music or racetracks or music from older Sonic games. I like these, and as of recording this, Sega has put in their own Sega variety music, including Let's Go Away from Daytona USA, bro. Yeah! So that's all well and dandy. And you can even like swap the music that you normally hear with music from the jukebox. I love this feature. But instead of it being just the category of music, why not just the individual piece of music? Like for example, if I'm playing East Stadium, I want to put Lap 1, I want to put Speed Highways theme. Lap 2, I want to put Magical Sound Shower. And Lap 3, I don't know, freaking Knights' theme songs, or like a Hatsune Miku theme song. I kind of want it just to be like a specific part of a music, not the whole category, because it randomly picks a song, and I kind of want to choose my own songs for those. That's one of the problems I have with the jukebox. Other than that, I'm glad the jukebox is in there. Tickets. Oh wait, I do actually have tickets for that. And yeah, so I talked about some of the negatives, but I feel like this negative is such a huge missed opportunity that I'm still kind of baffled they didn't do. Unfortunately, the only unlockable character in this game is Supersonic. Not counting the DLC because you have to pay for it, but yes, Supersonic is the only character that has DLC. Or that is unlockable. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, well, we do have all the characters, but hey, at least we can buy their skins with the tickets we have, right? Well, let's say yes for a little bit. It's because with the tickets, there is this friendship portion after you play all the cups, where you can give tickets or pour tickets to the character you like. You can get their titles, their decals, and heck, even their skins. Or I should say skin, because it's just AI racers. Yep, that, besides Sage getting her red form that the first time you see her, every character only gets one AI skin. Like, I cannot begin to say how much of a missed opportunity that is. Throughout this whole thing, I consider this game to kind of be a love letter to the entirety of the Sonic franchise. I mean, in the credits, they have moments of events that happened in the past Sonic games. And it's just like, why? Like, why couldn't we buy the rider skins? Why couldn't we have skins for, like, Tails as... If we're doing Secret Rings, why don't we have, like, a skin of Tails as Alibaba, or like Knuckles as Sinbad, or Sir Gawain. We could have had like Knights of the Round Table. We could have had like Rider's Gears. Hell, maybe even Murder Mystery of Sonic the Hedgehog. But we don't get those kinds of skins. We just get AI skins. And to me, that's just lame, honestly. And that is one critique that I am in agreement with a lot of them. This would have been a perfect opportunity for the tickets, so they can buy AI skins. They could do titles. They could do they could do like vehicle parts. Like they could do decals. And for the most part, they do that. Yeah. But they don't add skins, and they don't add a shop for the skins, and it's just I don't know, man. It just makes it's kind of a waste, honestly.
None can compete with my training.
But other than that, what else is there to say? I was really excited when this game came out, and I am just really excited that I got to play it, and I'm just really happy with the game overall. I feel like there's some things that I missed, but honestly, I have way more positive things to say about this game, and I'm actually really glad. And throughout the first part of it, this game kind of became mainstream. A lot of people who play Mario Kart tried the game out, and they enjoy it. Of course, VTubers are on the run, but Sonic channels are playing this game. A lot of characters are not characters. A lot of people have been tuning into this game. Now, unfortunately, the hype for it has died out in recent times, which I hope they can pick themselves up because Iizuka-san has clearly stated that he wants this game to run for another 2 or 3 years. Now, would this be year 1? I think this would be year 1. And literally, that could easily be fixed by listening to sometimes to the fans. And people want to deny this, but Sega has been listening to the fans. Why do you think we have Tangle and Whisper or Aural? There was talks after that sticker of Sonic on Aural. People were saying, "Oh, Aural's deconfirmed for Crossworlds." You know, when people put that hashtag Aural for Crossworlds over Twitter, literally, I feel like that was when they were like, okay, people want Aural. Boom, we'll put her in. And that's what got her in it. Yeah. But I feel like what would help with this is more tracks. I feel like more tracks would help. A version 2.0 or whatever, which would have more tracks, maybe another set of characters, actual skins. Yeah, actual skins. And honestly, I kind of want there to be tracks that are based off the characters from that are in the free DLC. Also, Sega, if you're listening, please add Burning Depths to Crossworlds, please. Come on, Burning Rangers needs a representation, bro. It deserves a remake, and it's so underrated, and it deserves a proper remake. So, before we continue, and yes, this is actually a new day, I want to talk about one other thing of Crossworlds that I should have talked about in the gameplay section. The items. So, pretty much, like I mentioned before, because of Mario Kart's success, there have to be like items to help like interfere with the race. And for the most part, yeah, you got some clones like, you know, red items homing in and green items like bouncing off and like dropping stuff behind you. But surprisingly, a lot of these items are actually very unique. Like, for example, Dark Chow you would assume is like the Boo where it steals items. But really, the Dark Chow actually takes your items but replaces it with other ones. And it's like a really common one. The green punching block, or punching glove. Yes, it bounces off the walls, but you can actually home it, and that could effectively turn into a red shell. And then we have the slime, which is like the blooper. It obstructs the screen, but it also slows down racers and even drops items, which is really interesting. And I think it's too interesting and too good, because most of these items are downright broken. The slime one, which drops weapons, and also, the weight that drops down and crushes your opponents. And don't get me started on that damn slicer. Probably my least favorite item because it's so good. Because, like, what it does is not only does your speed get cut drastically, it slices your machine in half, drops items, and sometimes, if you're in the air, cancels all air tricks, and you're not able to do air tricks. That is way too good for what it should be. And that item appears a lot frequently, along with the monster truck. Now, you would think that these items are actually really bad, and I would have hated these items or got rid of them in custom races if there wasn't a way to counter them. See, because this game not only offers offensive items, it also has defensive items. The Void Wisp, which can help suck up stuff paws, even the spike balls. The Tornado, which is one of my favorite items in the game. You could use it to defend. You can use it to defend attacks and even portal rings. Yeah, even portal ring items as well. And you could also defend yourself against the slicer. But you can also use it to attack people, which is really great. And of course the shield, which nullifies everything. And also, yes, King Boom Boo is back, and he's actually the blue shell of the game. Except, I think way more dangerous than the blue shell, because it also can target people all the way behind the first place person. And it's also you could also see it in every race. So yeah, these items are way too chaotic for my personal opinion. But I do genuinely like them, because you can counter them. Alright, man, so much time has passed because I had to take a break for all this. But anyways, be right back. So, yeah, we got 3 games done, and we're down to 1 more. And this game actually came to a surprise, and this is another instance of Nintendo trying a racing game or a kart racing game. And let's just talk about this one, because before we get into the actual game, the final game that came out of 2025 kart racing is Kirby Air Riders. Now, there's a bit of a topic that I want to discuss with this game. Is this really considered a kart racer? And in the traditional sense, the cars are basically like the rides and whatnot. But to me, you race each other. There are items, which are the copy abilities, and you try to get first place. In my eyes, this is still a good contender for kart racing, basically, even though they don't use karts. So, this game, Kirby Air Riders, it was announced in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, along with Mario Kart World. And it was where Kirby was trying to activate this star, and it turned into, like, the Warp Star ride from the game. And now we have Kirby Air Riders, a sequel to the GameCube game Kirby Air Ride. And wow, I'll get into why I said wow in a moment. So this game's marketing is rather interesting. They didn't really show many of the trailers or the commercials like Crossworlds did. But like Mario Kart World, there was actually a direct, nay, 2 directs for Kirby Air Riders. And these are basically in forms of Sakurai Presents. You know, because of how Masahiro Sakurai did the Sakurai Presents for the Smash Brothers series, he decided to do one for Air Riders. It was basically what you would expect. How to play the game, what kind of modes are there, and even some characters and new vehicles. Some old, some new. Because yes, unlike Kirby Air Ride, where it was just basically 3 characters, Kirby, all the colored Kirbys anyways, Meta Knight, and Dedede, this game went all in on the roster to include classic Kirby characters to some of the newer Kirby characters. And during that he showed off basically what Air Ride was, he showed off Top Ride and City Child, which we'll talk about. And then he also did a little bit of a teaser, or not really a teaser, he talked about the single player mode, Road Trip. And it was basically, he showed basically the opening to, like, the lore of Kirby Air Riders. So, yeah. Also, he included some other stuff, like customizations and all that, which we will get into. So, it wasn't all that bombastic. There was no rivalry. There was no, there was no, like, other trailers besides this, and a little bit of, like, mini videos showcasing all the tracks. So, with that said, so on November 20th, 2025, Kirby Air Riders came out for the Nintendo Switch 2. And throughout the lead up of this, many Nintendo fans were really excited, and fans in general. You know, it was a sequel to a game that's been out for like more than 20 years actually. So it was like really interesting to see like so many different things, like so many different stuff. Like the rides are faster, there's more track variants, all of the tracks that were in the original come back, and City Child is bigger than ever. So, did all of these struck with me? Well, let's find out. So starting things off, we actually have to, okay, before we even start things off, I want to talk about the menus, because they are very, very Sakurai coded. Or like, I see this so much in like Smash Brothers, even Kid Icarus Uprising. It's such a unique take on, the menus. So, what should we start with? Honestly, I think we should start with not City Trial, we'll save City Trial for later. Let's go with the single player, which is Road Trip. In my opinion, I love this single player mode, man. It's probably my favorite single player mode, and I'll explain why. So what Road Trip is, like, think classic mode and World of Light. You get to pick 3 pathways, and you actually get to compete in different missions, whether they're air ride missions, city trial ones, or even top ride. Right. Each time you beat a mission, you level up, and you actually get skills and power-ups to your ride, the stat buffs. Each time there will be a rest area where you actually get to pick your like stat boost, and you just keep going until you get to either bosses or like higher powered enemies, and you have to compete against the to pass the roadblock. Basically, you get a choice of 3 ways of taking out that roadblock. You're never stuck, and you get to go to the next world if you do. However, what's interesting about Road Trip is there's actually a story mode and lore to it, which is just so interesting. I'm sorry. So you go and you pick your rider, you actually fight Gilgamesh, and, well, you beat the game. However, you have to beat this twice. Now, thankfully the second time around, we don't have to waste time with the crystals and the cutscenes again, and you have to make sure you get every machine in order for you to get the true ending. I think that's how it goes. So yeah, throughout this you go through missions. I mentioned that already. But here's the thing though. You also go through different types of bosses as well. Now of course there's Robo DDD from the original Air Ride. That came back. However, to my surprise, they decided to bring back major fights from the Kirby franchise. Some of which includes 02 from Kirby 64, Marks, and Nightmare all come back to fight, and you have to fight them. When I saw that, I was incredibly shocked and surprised that they went this way. And then near the end, you go into Galactic Nova. You have to be its core in order to stop it. And yeah, you ride off into the sunset, along with help from Noir DDD. I think that's the second time. The first go around, the final fight, you actually race against them, which I thought is actually really cool. So yeah, I really like this. I really like Road Trip. I like it a lot, man. It's just so much stuff goes on, and it's like really crazy, and that's how what most people do in order to get a full experience of it. So yeah, like that is a really cool mode. Going from single player, let's go to the other roads. I'm just gonna knock off Top Ride because Top Ride out of all the modes is like the least popular. It's basically you race from a bird's eye view or a top person's perspective, and you just race in like these like really short tracks. They're just, it's fine, it's really fun, but just nothing completely special. Air Ride, which honestly I do, that's my kind of mode, where you get to race different people on different tracks. There are 18 tracks in total, and like 9 new, 9 returning, and yeah, whoever wins gets first place. I will say, the amount of customization in this game is insane. You can choose the game speed, how many racers you want, the difficulty of each of them, who you want to race against, what their ride is. There's even this elimination method that when we played, Elm showed me, which was also in the Sakura Presents, where like you are on a gauge, and if you run out, you're eliminated from the competition, which I found is actually pretty cool. But while Air Ride might be my main mode, this mode in particular is beloved by fans, that many of them say that this is the true main mode of the Kirby Air Ride series. And that is City Trial. And I pretty much agree. Like, this is great. Now, if you're like me, who hasn't really played much of the original Air Ride, but I've played Smash 3DS in high school during lunchtime, you might be familiar with Smash Run. Basically, where you go in this arena, collect stuff while defeating enemies, and there's like this final contest, and it's random. It's pretty much like that. City Trial, you go throughout the main island, which is called Skya. It's basically a city, a cave, and like a lot of things in the air. It's a really cool place. And you collect stat boosts, go on different rides, defeat enemies, and then there's a final contest that shows who would be the winner. And funnily enough, though, these can also include bosses that you face in Road Trip, which I find to be fascinating, by the way. Having players team up just to beat the hell out of Marks is just, it's so good. And yes, there is a game over and everybody loses if you run out of time. I will admit, I really like City Trial a lot. So that's one of my personal favorite modes. So before we get to the unlockables, which, by the way, I need to mention that, I want to talk about my favorite tracks in this game, and they're mostly from the Air Ride ones. The first one is Wave Flow Waters, or Water Flow Waves. I don't remember how it is. It's basically a water level, and wow, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous to go around. It's so fun to be. The music is rocking, and I think Johnny Atma actually covered this song too. I need to listen to it. So yeah, I think it's really cool. Steam Gust Forge. Wow, Steampunk City and Steam Gust Forge. I must love the steampunk levels. But yeah, it's basically a machinery one. I like the music. I personally really like the ending where you have to try to go on one ship to the other. If you fall, you don't get penalized, but it's a lot slower. And I just really like the atmosphere. I love how it looks. I really like it. And last but not least, we have Galactic Nova. I've always wanted to touch upon this. I've only played this, I think, twice, and it is really cool. It's basically reenacts what happens in the finale of Road Trip, because in order to unlock this track, you need to beat Road Trip. And it's really cool just to see just to see what happens. Go inside Galactic Nova and escape when it explodes, and you look back at the explosion. It's just, it's so good, man. That is what we like to call a cinematic track, basically. And I always love cinematic tracks where like you're racing, but like things are going on, like things are happening, things are going on in the background. It's really cool. You know what? Like tracks like Rogue's Landing from Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed is really cool because of all the stuff that happens in the background. Even Carrier Zone with all like the cannonballs, like all the bullets and cannonballs and all the airplanes and whatnot. It's cinematic. I love those kinds of tracks. Speaking about unlocking stuff, let me just say, I have to say this. Sakurai, if you're watching this, which I highly doubt you do, you have better times, you have better things to do than watch my stuff. I just have to say, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for making unlockables relevant. Like, when we start up the game, we only have 3 tracks and 4 characters. Perfect. That is perfect. Make us work for those characters. It's Kirby, DDD, Meta Knight, and I think Bandana D or just a regular Waddle Dee. I don't remember. Either Waddle Dee or Bandana D. I think Bandana D. But perfect. Let us work for these things. Let us work for these characters, these tracks, the music, all of that. And in good old Sakurai Faction, there's actually a challenge board where if you beat an achievement, you unlock it and you get whatever you get, whether it be a decal, a character, a track, just like a message, anything. And this goes for all of the other different modes. All of these modes have you try to complete this challenge board, and that is perfect. Want to unlock a color? Gotta do a challenge. Want to unlock this track? Gotta do a challenge. Make us work for it. And I am thankful that this is in the game. Speaking of online, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't really done much online, except for one, which was the event, and I think I won because everybody else disconnected. But yes, like, also, thank you for having events. It gives us a reason to come back to these. Another thing that I really need to be thankful for is the fact that this game did something the other racing games I talked about didn't. They have fully customizable characters and fully customizable cars or rides or whatever you want to call it. I have seen so many really, really cool rides that were made by friends on my Switch. Hell, when I visited, here's a story I want to tell. When I visited Mr. Toad aka Matt's place to go to like a convention that's near his place, he literally made a closed mouth Boo star, and I was there when he made it. It's really cool. It's really cool. I dabbled my hand at trying to make a Puyo Puyo one, even though it looks more like an Inkling, but whatever. Are you done? Okay, thank you. I've seen so much stuff that's just like really, really cool. Many different Pokemon. There's one of Dark Magician Girl, which I took because, come on. Like Dominoes. There's like YouTube. Just so much creativity that's just like literally right there. And I even saw like one of Ashley. I saw an Ashley ride, which I can't find, but I saw online. So yeah, I just really like this. And as for characters, you can buy these like headband things like you could have them wear cowboys, crowns, and just ears basically. If you guys have seen my footage that I'm showing you right now, I had to put Susie in the bunny ears. Come on, like Susie with the bunny ears is just peak perfection. Okay, just let me just get that straight. Overall, though, Kirby Air Riders has just been such a fun time to... has just been, like, such a really fun game to come back to. My friends have played it. I played it with them. They loved it, and just... and, like, they're right. Like, this game is just awesome, man. And if you have a Switch too, go try it out. And if you like racing, just go try out this game. This game is really, really good. Alright guys, I think that is all of the games that I've showed and talked about. Some I've talked about more than others, which you can literally see on these timestamps below. So, it's verdicts time. And before I get to the verdicts of each of these games, I just want to say one thing. I want to give a huge thank you to the people who watched that announcement of me getting a Switch 2, and especially the people who commented saying congrats to me, and they're like really excited to hear about what I have to say about these games. One person in particular really wanted me to discuss Mario Kart World. And I'll just say this. I am grateful that you guys tune in and watch my videos on this. I'm just a guy just sitting talking about my favorite stuff, and I enjoy it, even though it takes longer to edit because A, I am lazy, B, I do have a job. Well, it's more part-time, but whatever. And C, my computer sometimes likes to act up because I have so much stuff on my computer that I always tend to run out of space. So that's why like some take a while. Now I know I could get like a USB storage to like put all of my videos in one place, but I just don't for some reason. I guess maybe just there's like so much money that pours into all of this, so yeah. So anyways, I want to say to you guys, to all of you guys who've actually made it this far and watched this video, I want to say thank you. Even though I do believe some of you literally skipped to just this point because you just don't want to hear about it. You just want to see what I have to say. I'm watching you. I see you. I see you right there. That person right here just skipped all of that stuff. Just come straight to here because of my timestamp. I see you. I see you. I'm stalling now, so let me just stop doing that. Okay. It is time we discuss what is the de facto racing game or the de facto kart racer of 2025. I think we should start by talking about what I consider last place, the worst kart racer of 2025. And to no surprise, what I think is the worst kart racer of 2025 is Garfield Kart 2. Like, seriously, there's no contest. This whole game feels lazy. The character selection is pitiful. Like, it plays like crap. The items are so unoriginal, and quite frankly, this is just really, really just like, it is kind of a filler spot, but it came out in 2025. So now I'm done talking about this. Goodbye. So, that leaves 3 of these games left. Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, Kirby Air Riders. Which of these 3 is the winner? And we are going to talk about that by doing something that I decided to show and just talk about. Their overall placements. Which game I think does better in one area than the other area. Alright, so let's get started. This video has been going on long enough. So, let's start off with single player modes for the placement. It's basically the ones where we play single player with just a little hint of multiplayer. It's like the Grand Prix, road trip, all of that. And honestly, wow, way to start this off by having such big gaps between the three, huh? But I can't lie, this is how I feel, and I put in some clothes in there, so that's why if you hear something, that's the laundromat going off. So, first place goes to Kirby Air Riders. Look, road trip is awesome. We got to do all the missions. The boss fights were awesome. The story was pretty good, and it was very entertaining. Second place, again with a large margin, goes to Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Look, the Grand Prix is awesome. I love the Grand Prix. The rival interactions are spectacular. I should also mention this now. And I might get shot for this. I kind of like the voice acting in these games. Alright, hear me out. Yes, I know they're not 4Kids voice actings. I know people miss them and they glaze the 4Kids voice actors. But you gotta admit, the new gen voice acting for Sonic games have gotten better. Roger Craig Smith has come a long way as Sonic. He's been playing Sonic for like 10 years, like more than 10 years. So, yeah, I feel like people need to give like the voice acting some slack. Because, yeah, in these rival interactions, even like some of the references that they make, I forgot to mention that. The references that they make to like the games and even on like the tracks as well. I especially, and I should have added this when I did Sonic Racing Crossworlds, I love one of the references when you have Vector go into Pumpkin Mansion.
A haunted house! Split up, gang, and look for clues!
It's a Scooby-Doo reference! That's awesome! A Scooby-Doo reference in a Sonic game? That's awesome! And then last for the single player is Mario Kart World. It's just the normal single player with the intermissions, which are very hit or miss. And it's honestly, to me, it's like really nothing special. I feel like the intermissions make the Grand Prix kind of repetitive. It's more repetitive. Alright, now let's talk about the tracks. Like, where the characters race on, and like, how are the set pieces? How are the tracks overall? And first place for tracks goes to Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Honestly, I just find, yes, I think there's more tracks in Mario Kart World, but this is where it comes into quality over quantity. There's a lot of stuff going on in some of these tracks, especially during like the first lap and the final lap having different variants. Take Blizzard Valley for example. The first lap has us go normally driving through the ice and all that, and then the third lap there's a section part of the track that is completely gone. You have to fly over to that next section just to continue the race. That is actually really cool, and I like how the track changes things up from lap 1 to lap 3. Like, Minecraft World does that, Eggman Expo does that. White Space is my favorite example. With lap 1, the sky is all white and not like bizarre and crazy, while the final lap, the sky is red and there's just like, there's like more to the track. Kind of how it was in Shadow Gens, if you think about it. So yeah, tracks are like the best in Crossworlds. Number 2 or second place goes to Kirby Air Riders. Yeah, there are 18 tracks, 9 new, 9 returning, but honestly, for the most part, the tracks are pretty fun. Not counting Skya, which is a city trial island. I find these to be really cool, really nice places, and I feel like this works well with the gameplay. Even though the tracks don't really change as much as Crossworlds does, like the fact that the gameplay requires you to go fast, think fast, just makes these tracks really interesting to me. And unfortunately, last is, yet again, Mario Kart World. For the most part, I think the tracks are pretty fine. But the intermissions make some of these tracks, or like without the intermission for some of these tracks, like Farewell Oasis and Boo Cinema, like I mentioned before, it just feels kind of hollow and just kind of like, oh, that's it? They're like, some of these tracks really seem like revolves around the intermissions, which is kind of a shame because I do like some of these tracks. Alright, next up is the music. And for me, music is subjective. You can have, it pretty much depends on the person, in my opinion. And surprisingly, well, not surprisingly if you guys heard me, first place goes to Mario Kart World. Look, the fact that they not only have games from the Mario Kart series, but games from all the other Mario series is a huge bonus. And the fact that they're remixed, like, bro, that is awesome. It's still a shame that there's no jukebox for this so we can listen to this. We have to go on that app or something. I don't know. This may be a hot take, and this may be like a hot take because I know a lot of people don't like this, but second place for music is going to Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Like, I think the music is way too overhated. People are saying that this game has the worst soundtrack. So, you're telling me this game has the worst soundtrack? Worse than Sonic Chronicles? Worse than Sonic Genesis? I don't know. Worse than Sonic 4? Or hell, maybe even worse than Sonic Boom? Like, guys, go listen to those soundtracks and listen to this and come back and tell me this still has the worst soundtrack. Yes, it's different. And yes, the chance can be the chance can be a little bit much. But for me, I kind of like chance in this game. You want to know why? It makes it feel like people are actually watching or like watching the races, and it just feels nice having like an audience that actually watches these races in game. So that's one of the reasons why I like the music. And surprisingly, in last place is Kirby Air Riders. Now, before you click off the video just for that, I want to say this. I really like the music they have in this game. The remixes, it's like the Mario one. They're taking all the song from Kirby's games, and it's great. It's just really fun. But I don't know why. It's just, I feel like the other two games, in my opinion, have music that I like more and I would listen to more than Kirby Air Riders. But there are some gems in there. I do like Water Flow Waters or Wave Flow Waters. I like Steam Gust Forge. And I like the remixes of the old tracks, like Frozen Hillside, Checkered Nights, which is always a bop. And yeah, I want to say these. All three of these games have just amazing music, in my opinion. So yeah. Character customization. So this is basically customization. I actually split it into 3 parts instead of 2. 3 parts, and I'll get to that. So the first part of it is character customization. Basically costumes, skins, and whatnot. And in my opinion, the #1 spot goes to Mario Kart World. I love the costumes. I love each of these characters have different costumes. It makes it so cool and so unique. Like, I love Captain Toadette. I love Daisy's outfits. I like Luigi's outfits. The only problem I have with the outfits is that Donkey Kong and Pauline only have one, which is weird considering why they didn't use Pauline's mare outfit from Super Mario Odyssey. But I digress. The costumes are great, and I like going for the costumes. They're very well advertised as well. In second place, we have Kirby. I like putting the headwear on the Kirby characters, as well as changing their colors if we have unlocked them. Come on, Susie with bunny ears. Red-haired Susie with bunny ears. Ah! Just absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. Just put me in that absolute cinema meme. It's just, so good. I do genuinely really like these. I feel like Mario Kart World does costumes a lot better than Kirby Air Riders, in my opinion, because there's like a vast majority of them. But I feel like this game does it well. And then we have Sonic Racing Crossworlds. By far, one of the most disappointing aspects is the character customization. Again, aside from Sage, there's everybody else just has AI skins as just skins, and there's no skin shop? Really? I feel like there should be way more. Like, the Sonic series has characters put on way more costumes in the past games. It will be this game already likes to reference things. Why can't they reference skins? Not having rider skins, I feel like, is like one of the biggest offenders of this. People really want rider skins to come back. I want rider skins to come back. And it's such a shame that this game doesn't have that. And that's why it's in last place for character customization. But character customization is one thing. What about vehicle customization? Like I mentioned before, I actually separated this into two aspects. The customization for the gameplay and for the aesthetics. And I'll do gameplay first. Gameplay is Sonic. Like, the ability to mix match different car parts from the different characters is just really cool. You can have a mix between Sonic and Amy. No, not Sonic and Amy. Sonic and Blaze's car, because it has to be the different types. How about Amy and the Egg Pond? Or Tails and Sage, because they're both have acceleration cars. I really like how you get to customize them. And the stats change too. You customize the front, the back, and their wheels. And it's just like the stats change. You can like have a character mix. You can like mix match a character in there. Like you can have Zavok ride the Paddy Wagon, which is really cool. Have Shadow ride Amy's car. Have Knights ride Sonic's car for like Sonic and Knights sharing, like working together. Which, by the way, please have that in the next game. Have Sonic and Knights be together again, please. I really like that. So, yeah, I like the vehicle customization with gameplay. And then next for gameplay is Kirby. And honestly, I feel like it's mostly just like mixing each of the rider to a car, and I feel like that just is like pretty much, that's like really quick, and just like, and like each of them have like different stats depending on the car, which is like, or the machine, because it says machine back here. So yeah, I kind of like that for gameplay. And unfortunately, Mario Kart World decides to ditch the kart customizations, which I'm fine with, but nothing really changes from this, so I'm just gonna say that. Now, aesthetics. For aesthetics, it's basically how the car basically looks, and like how the car looks, how you can customize them, and whatnot. And for this one, I'm actually gonna for the gameplay, Sonic and then Kirby, I'm actually gonna switch the two and say Kirby wins over Sonic. And that is because there's so many cool things that people have made online in this game compared to Crossworlds, where it's much more limited. But like I've already explained it, but let me give out some more. They were able to make the Wagon Star a GameCube, which is just so good, man. And as for Crossworlds, its customization and its specs isn't bad per se. It's more limited. Like, you can't stack stickers, and you have to try to work with what the card gives you. However, Minecart, you can do like YouTube logos or Amazon logos. And yet again, Mario Kart World comes in last. You can't even change the color of these cars. The most you can do with these cars is add a sticker. That's it. Like, that's not enough, in my opinion. Graphics. So the graphics is like how pretty the game looks. Like all the pretty set pieces for like the tracks, just overall. And for me, this goes to Mario Kart World. Not only do some of the tracks look pretty cool, and not only do some of the tracks are like really pretty to look at. I'm looking at Rainbow Road. I feel like the characters just look really, really good. Yes, I know DK changed his design and many people aren't happy about that, but I'd never mind because he looks more expressive. Yes, I'll admit I'll miss the old DK look, but I kind of like this new DK look. And like even the box art just looks really cool as well. Well, again, the character costumes look amazing. I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of perv over Peach in her, what's it called? Her, not Pro Racer, but her touring outfit. I did perv a little on that, so I will admit that. I'll admit that. But overall, the graphics just look really pretty in this game. The second one is Kirby Air Riders. I like how the tracks look. The cutscenes look really good too, even though you can tell some of it's compressed when you have the rider in the cutscene, but still it looks very like cinematic, and I just love how it goes with the narration with these. And while Crossworlds isn't bad with the graphics, well, I played this on Switch 1, but when I got the Switch 2, it was completely different. It runs a lot better. Yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't really call any of these tracks beautiful, except for Golden Temple. Golden Temple is really great. But, yeah, I wouldn't call it beautiful, unlike the other two. So this is basically just me saying, I like the graphics, I like how it looks, but the other games look better. Except for the animation. The animation, oh my gosh, each game release animation looks so good each time, man. Just, great. Now we come to the part of this that I'm very contentious with, and that I'm this is very important to me as someone who's playing this game and wants to come back. The unlockables. Doing something to unlock something and whatnot. This one is actually as important to me as gameplay, in my personal opinion. And the winner for this, to no surprise at all, is Kirby. Dude, again, major shoutouts to Sakurai for having an achievement board in this game like he does in many of his other games. Giving us incentives to collect all of these characters, to play as all these characters, to get all of these machines, to play all of these tracks. It's just, I love doing this. And as you saw from my footage, I'm not at 100%, which Mr. Toad likes to make fun of me for, but it's whatever. But yeah, this game does unlockables extremely well, and I am appreciative of that. Second place goes to Mario Kart World. I think Mario Kart World does unlockables pretty good. You have to unlock yeah, like doing all the cups unlocks the special cup. Like, you have to unlock mirror mode by doing free roam. You have to play Rainbow Road. You have to get the characters and the carts as well. You have to unlock those as well. Like the costumes, the characters by playing the Grand Prix. You unlock characters by getting the Grand Prix and all that. I just think that this game does really well, and I like. The same can't be said for Crossworlds. Why are there no unlockables? Why is it only supersonic? Just like, why is it only supersonic? Like, this also would have been a perfect time to do unlockables for skins. I mean, granted, you have to unlock the secret cup, which, okay, yeah, you unlock the secret cup. And you also unlock 200cc in this game, which is called supersonic speed. So unless Mario Kart World, this actually does have 200cc. But, like, that's not enough for me. I want to be able to unlock characters. Like, unlock different skins. All of that. I feel like this game doesn't do that, unfortunately. The roster. Okay, honestly, not gonna lie. I'm not gonna even lie to you guys. This was probably the hardest to figure out because, genuinely, I do really like the roster in these games. But I think this is how it's gonna be. I think because of the DLC and because take out any characters that are relevant, I think Sonic Racing Crossworlds does roster the best out of the three. Okay, it may be my bias because Knights is a DLC character, and you all know how I feel about Knights, so maybe it's also that. But I just really like to see all the relevant Sonic characters. I know there are some characters that people wanted to see, like Mephiles, Chaos, and all that. But I think for what we got, I generally really like this. The roster is growing on me with this one. Number 2 is Kirby Air Riders. I think it's kind of the same thing. I genuinely really like the roster in this game. All like the Kirby characters. And I want to say this, guys. With Sonic Racing Crossworlds, my most wanted character in this game was Knights. They got into the game. It was in DLC. With Kirby Air Riders, though, my 2 characters that I really wanted in this game were Magolor and Susie. And the first Sakurai Presents, they get in the game. Just like that, and I could not have been any more happier. Whereas Knights took a while, they came in like that. So really, I should put this one above Sonic, but it's fine. And unfortunately, Mario Kart World comes in last. Now, I want to preface by saying, I don't hate Mario Kart's roster. But I feel like it could have done better. And no, it's not because Ashley's not in the game. I feel like there are so many characters in other Mario games that should have been in it. I mentioned before EGAD. I mentioned Prince Florian. Those should have been in the game as well, but they unfortunately weren't. Hell, maybe they could have added some Mario RPG characters, like characters from Paper Mario or from Mario and Luigi series. That would have been really cool, but they don't. They just add, like, random enemies and just random NPCs, which isn't a bad thing, but, yeah, a little disappointing. Gameplay. So we talked about the tracks, and we talked about single player. But what about the game overall? What is kind of important in these games is how I feel like these games play. And to me, I think the winner out of these 3 is Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I love how these cars work. I love how the extreme gears work. I love going through the tracks. The items, while messy, are actually pretty good, and I'll explain this on when we get to the online part. But anytime I lose a race, I get even more determined to win the next one, which makes this game very hard to put down. So because of that, that's why I say this is like in the top of gameplay. The next one for gameplay is Kirby Air Riders. I generally like Kirby Air Riders' gameplay. I love how fast it is, how you have to think on your toes where to go, and just like using copy abilities and all that. It just makes this like so action-packed and adrenaline pumping, and I like doing that. I like feeling that in a kart racer. And it can be pretty difficult too. Like, you don't, like in road trip, like, there was like the first couple acts I just steamrolled through, but near the end of the game it picked up in difficulty, but never felt unfair in my opinion. And that's what I really like about this. And then third is Mario Kart World, which is not really surprising. I think again the intermissions are fine, but just like can be like very repetitive, and it's just kind of a repetitive game. I don't think free roam is all that good. Well, it used to be good, but not as well, and it's just okay to me. Now, online. This is where many people go to when they play any of these games. How is the online? And this is probably because I don't have the best internet in the world. But I will admit, I think Crossworlds does it well. Even though I have problems with it. Don't get me wrong, I have problems with it. How fair points are, where like I can literally disconnect, and it's because of my internet, because my internet's not that good out here, and it just disconnects me. I don't disconnect it, it just disconnects me, which I have no control over, and I lose fair play points because of that, which is just really aggravating. But with that out of the way, and like there are some communication errors, but without those, why do I like the online so much? I feel like the festivals, in my opinion, are actually pretty cool. Like, I like doing World Match. I like Legends Comp. It is a challenge. And here's the thing about what I talked about with gameplay. If I lose badly in an online match, 8 to 9 times out of 10, I'm more determined to come back and do better. That's how I like to feel in video games. Like, be determined to try it again. That's what I like about this a lot. So that's why I like the online. This may be a bias because I think out of all these 3 games, I've done Crossworlds the most online. But I'll try my best, because second is Kirby Air Riders. I love the padlock system where they get to choose to speculate the match. They get to choose which one they want to go to, whether it be Air Ride, Top Ride, or City Trial. I should try an online City Trial to see how well I do. And yeah, I just like playing this online. The same can't really be said for Mario Kart World. I think just the online's kind of generic. It's just Mario Kart Online. There's WR points, and yeah, I only did a little bit of it. Before I move on to the next point, I want to briefly go back to online for Sonic Racing Crossworlds, because your boy actually got to race with Devin Mack on one of his streams. And for those who don't know, Devin Mack is one of the voice actors for Sonic in Sonic Prime. So racing in the same lobby and server as him was an honor. I know Devin Mack doesn't want stuff like this, but I just want to say it has been an honor to race him in this game. Marketing. So this is before the game's release. How did what was shown before the game's release to hype up people. Well, that's what I mean by marketing. And yet again, the winner is Sonic. Sonic Racing Crossworlds went above and beyond with its marketing. They were confident with this game. It got a teaser trailer back at 2024's Game Awards. There were many trailers, many speculations, many DLC, and that's not all. And that's not all of the marketing. I forgot to mention this. They have crosstalks, which every week or two they would talk about the different characters. There was a Tails tube which showed Knights' machine, which many people thought Knights would be in the game because of that. And they were correct. There was an animation. For this game. Guys, they were confident with going with this game. Oh yeah, and the 90s throwback commercial when they dissed Mario Kart World. That right there marks confidence with its marketing, and which is why I think in a landslide, Crossworlds beats these two, no contest. Second, I will give to Kirby Air Riders. It did not really have much in the way of trailers, but the Sakurai Presents was actually really fun to watch. Just seeing Sakurai try his own game while showcasing them it's always a treat to see. I always like seeing these as well. And then of course we have Mario Kart World. Really, there was like a YouTube ad with the spokesperson who did, I think, Super Mario Kart back then. I don't remember his name. Hopefully I'll put it on the screen. It was that, and at least this game had a direct, which people really didn't like, so I guess there's that. But yeah, so yeah, Mario Kart World last. And finally, the last category before I give my final thoughts. Replayability. This one is very important. What makes me want to come back to this game? And what makes me want to boot up and say, you know what? I'm in the mood for this game and play it again. And what makes me want to play it with friends? And it's a toss-up. It was a toss-up, but I think the winner for this is Kirby Air Riders. Kirby Air Riders has the achievement board. It has Air Ride. The city trials where different things can happen in city trial. And just like different events, random events, different stadiums, it makes us come back to more of this game. Yes, I feel like I would only play like Road Trip like 3 times in case I want to just see the story or do bosses again, which I don't really know. But the rest of these modes, this gives us a reason to come back, to fill up that achievement slot. This game gives us that moment or that reason to come back. So that's why. This was a tight race between this game and Crossworlds. And one of the reasons why I didn't say Crossworlds is because, truth be told, I don't feel like many people come back to this game. But this might be online and just people being negative and whatnot. But I do find reasons to still come back to this game. If I want to try my hand at like online, if I want to see more of the rival interactions, if I want to see them again, then if I want to play like different types of races, if a festival is going on, I want to get a festival so I can win some decals and all that. I feel like that gives me a reason to come back to this game. But not as much as Kirby. And then, honestly, Mario Kart World, I feel like it's like a one and done game until I play with friends, because, yeah, I pretty much got everything, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I want this game to be more grand. That's why I feel like more DLC would benefit from this game very well. But in the end, I just think it's a good game, but not a game that I would like find myself coming back to over and over again. Maybe to find that WarioWare Inc. drifting away sound. But that was all of the placements I have for all of these categories. But now comes the big question. What do I think out of these 3 games do I think is the de facto kart racer? And I think I already know for third place. Third place, it is Mario Kart World. Yeah, honestly, yeah, I think this makes the most sense. A lot of people, yeah, there's kind of a reason why this is probably the most controversial game along with the Switch 2. Because, like, let's just be real. I feel like everything has been echoed. Free roam being bare bones, the intermissions being kind of sluggish, like Knockout Tour being one of the more only better ones. Even though I have a better outlook on this game and I like this game, I could absolutely see why. But like, people want to say this, and the Switch 2 are just like, oh, having buyer's remorse for these. It's just basically saying like, oh, wow, man, the Switch 2 sucks, even though I wanted it to come out. I was pestering Nintendo so much for this to come out, and now it sucks. So I'm going to pester them more by saying, like, this is, saying, like, hey, like, yo, where's the Switch? Oh, there it is. Ew, the Switch sucks, even though I asked for it. Like, okay, I'm not going to rant on that. Jason, don't rant on that. Honestly, I'm probably just going to cut that out. But yeah, I just think Mario Kart World, it's a fun game. Don't get me wrong, it's a fun game, but I feel like the other 2 are better. And now we come to the final 2. And honestly, even starting this project, I knew it was going to literally come down to these 2 games. These 2 games are fantastic games. Like, these 2 are fantastic games in their own right. Sonic Racing Crossworlds has some of the most fun I've had in a kart racer. The tracks are great. The tracks are great. The rival interactions are golden. And I didn't mention this. Well, maybe I did. This game is the most accessible out of Kirby Air Riders. Be on like Switch 2, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So it has more accessibility and more DLC. Whereas Kirby Air Riders has a fantastic single player mode, 3 different modes that are amazing. Also, it has a lot of character customization, unlockables, and just more fun that you can bring, and could literally be slot into a classic at this point. A very good sequel to a classic. But okay, honestly, if it were up to me, I would do a cop-out answer and say both of these are the de facto game of 2025. And I really want to. But that wouldn't be as entertaining to watch. So, I have to pick one. I think I have my answer. Yep. The winner is Kirby Air Riders. Honestly, I could literally just go ahead and put my bias to here for Crossworlds, and I really do want to. But let me tell you this. Picking each of these two was such a difficult decision. I think by 0.4%. Like, that was how close this is. Both of these games are spectacular. Both of these games I would see myself coming back to. Both of these games are just incredible. But I think Kirby Air Riders edges it out for a few reasons. So I mentioned this beforehand. So one of the reasons why is because, like, for Kirby, there are unlockables. Like, you start very small, but then you work your way up to get everything. And I like that in a video game. And that's something that Crossworlds doesn't do. You just get everyone immediately. Oh, you gotta get Supersonic, which is fine, but to me just doesn't hold a candle to Crossworlds with its unlockability. And also, here's the thing. Because the gameplay is so good with both of these games, replayability is also really important. And aside from the festivals, well, what's really there to go for if you have everything? This incentivizes you to come back, keep playing, to get the achievements, to get the decals, the stickers, the tracks, all of that. It's like it incentivizes you to do this. And to me, I feel like that is what I like to see in a kart racer, in a party game, or any game in general. But you know what though? Even though I just say I think Kirby Air Rider maybe did the Facto Kart Racer 2025, I just want to let you all know it was only by a short mile. Because Sonic Racing Crossworlds, in my personal opinion, because over the time people kind of fallen off of this game, the hype kind of died down, and all that. But if you look closer, you have another arcade kart racer that matches with Nintendo's. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. When I played this game and heard that this game was better than Mario Kart World, to me, there was a part of my mind was like, finally, Sega can finally take a win off of Nintendo based off of something. And then Kirby Air Riders came, and I wouldn't say it knocked it completely out. It just gave them light tap shove out of the way. But leaving this game still in the spotlight. To me, guys, I feel like both of these games deserve the amount of praise they get. Like, they're like very good gameplay wise, very good, like very nice to race across or race on, and just to play, like just play these games, guys. And hell, even where is it? I think even Mario Kart World has some great moments in it too. Knockout Tour is really good. Some of the tracks are great. The costumes are awesome. Just, I feel like these three kart racers are like racers that you can have fun with friends with. And I'll just tell you a little bit of something. When I'm with my friends and we're just hanging out, it's mostly these two games. They don't even play Sonic. They're like Nintendo ride or die, basically. So when I show them this, or Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, we play it for a little bit, and then we just move on to the next Nintendo thing. It's just, I really wish they would be like others that have played Mario Kart and played this and they like it. they play like more games like this that doesn't feature Nintendo characters, that doesn't feature Mario, and that would be really, really cool. Cause in my personal opinion, like this game, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, Air Riders, and hell, even Mario Kart World, both have their rightful place to me as being some of the most unique kart racing games of 2025. And really the only outlier is Garfield Kart 2. So honestly, really, like these guys should be like count their blessings that they're not like Garfield Kart 2. And now you reach the end of the video. This was a lot. Wow, holy hell. This was a lot to talk about. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot more to edit. So yeah. That's, you reached the end. Congratulations for reaching the end. And I just want to ask, I want to ask this again. What are your thoughts on these 4 games? How would you rank these games? I would like to hear what you would have to say in the comments below about these games, how I placed them, and how would you place these games? So I just wanted to get this out of the way. Now with this out of the way, hopefully when I edit and upload this, I should get back to my Jason's Impactful Games because we still haven't done my 3rd game yet. So I will do that. But as of right now, that is it, everybody. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you all for watching. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace and love. Bye, guys.